Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua by Shem Rakah Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I don't really have too much to say, but there was a question that was, well, it was pretty much a discussion, and the question came up as to, Nebuchadnezzar, and for that matter, Beltis, you have Beltis. I always get these confused. Daniel's name, Babylonian name, was one name, and you had the king that had another name. I'm gonna give it to you right now, and I was just reading that in this. This is the. Give me a second. That's the 7th chapter. Let me go to that. Okay, so this is 2nd chapter's Nebuchadnezzar. So this is based upon a little discussion we had last night when the bishops and bishop elders and the Apostle Ricard was there, and Apostle Gabar and the rest of the bishops were there, and Ricard's son was there too. So the discussion came up as far as who is Nebuchadnezzar. Is he a Babylonian, or is he a Hamite? So I told, because they heard me do a video on it maybe a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember, and I said Nebuchadnezzar, and let me go to 7, Daniel 7. This is not going to be long unless the spirit jump on me. I'm trying to get the spirit to jump on me. I'm trying to find the spirit. And if this is short, I would like to come back if the spirit jumps on me and do another video. But I don't have to go too long. Anyway, so this is in the 7th chapter, Daniel 7 verse 1, in the first year of Belshazzar. Now, Daniel's name is Belteshazzar. Belteshazzar. That was a Babylonian name that was given to him. But the king at that time was Belshazzar, which it says king of Babylon. So when we were having a discussion, that was brought up because one of the bishops said, "Oh, I heard you say that in the recent video," and I said, "Yeah." I spoke about it in a recent video. I said that either Nebuchadnezzar, I think I said Nebuchadnezzar. If I say Nebuchadnezzar, it goes for Belshazzar's, or whoever was a Babylonian ruler, during that time period, were actually Assyrians. And the reason why they didn't see it that way, because it was always taught by the main teachers of the 7 that the kings of Babylon were Hamites, meaning Cushites. And the reason why they said that is because, or taught that way, is because Nimrod, which he's a Cushite, an Ethiopian, so you can understand, he was king of Babylon. Let me go to that. And I said, yes, that's true. He was king of Babylon. Let's go to that. Genesis 10. In order for you to understand these scriptures, you got to understand maps. You got to understand historical figures in the Bible. Like, you got to know a little bit about Alexander if you claim you know the whole Bible. Because if somebody brings up Daniel chapter 11, or even Daniel chapter 8, it mentions Alexander the Greek. It mentions him as being the king of Grecia. And like I said, like we always say, most Christians, average Christians, they don't know the history. So when you teach the scriptures, you gotta when you teach the scriptures speak about historic events. If you go in the New Testament, that was during the time of the Roman Empire. So you got to know a little something about I was going to say pharaohs, about the Caesars, the emperors, and they even mention names of different emperors during that time. So you got to know. Sometimes in the New Testament, it's speaking about a time period, and and the scholars know what emperor or Caesar was ruling at that particular time. So these Christians, man, when you deal with these Christians, they're easy work unless they're scholars. But the average Christian, they're easy work because they don't understand the history, and they'll say, "Well, it's not important to know." Yes, it is, because it's in the scriptures. So, for example, Tiberius. Let me see something. Let me go ahead and get that, and I'll come back to this. Let me go. I believe that's Matthew 2. Matthew 2. Okay, it mentions King Herod. I'm looking for Tiberius. Might not even be in this chapter. Okay, it's in there a bunch of times. Let me put a B there. Bear with me for a minute. Let me do it this way. Let me go to my cheat sheet. Roman emperors mentioned in the Bible. What Roman emperors were in the Bible? Caesar Augustus, Tiberius Caesar, Claudius Caesar. Claudius Caesar is the Caesar, if you go to Acts chapter 18, when Priscilla and Aquila was pushed out among the Christians and the Jews, the real Jews. It was during the reign of Claudius. But I wanted the actual precepts. Roman emperors in the New Testament. Okay. Okay, I said Matthew's 2. It was Luke 2. So let me go to Luke. Let me go to Luke 2. Luke chapter 2. I said Matthew 2 because that's Herod putting out that order to kill the baby boys 2 years and under. So, okay, right here it says, okay, so it says Luke 2:1, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world, what does it mean by world? Oh, this is another thing you get on the Christians. Did the Romans tax the whole world? And if they know history, say no, Rome didn't have the whole world. So what does it mean by world then? It's talking about anybody that's subject under the Roman Empire. Another way you could get a dumbass, wacky-tacky Christian, that all the world of the Roman Empire, anybody under the Roman Empire, should be taxed. So it mentions Augustus. Okay, let me give you another one. Okay, so right here in Luke chapter 3, okay, Luke chapter 3, verse 1. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee. So you have these, like I said, this is how you get a Christian. They don't, hey, in order for you to truly understand the scriptures, you got to know current event, you got to know events of different times in history. This is why they took out the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha, Maccabees, in particular Maccabees, first Maccabees 1, it mentions Alexander's father, mentions Alexander. Then it speaks about Antiochus, which is also found in Daniel chapter 11. It's hard to remember all these names and different characters, but if you're a real Christian, you would know that. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go to Acts 18. Okay, Acts, I'll start the first verse. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a certain Jew named Aquila. By the way, Aquila is Greek for eagle, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because, well, they mentioned, I forgot about that, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome and came unto them. Now, if you go to Google and put in, why did Claudius expel the Jews and the Christians from Rome? You go to Google and it'll tell you, because they were raising hell. They had camps out there teaching. We were back there. The disciples were back there. The apostles and so forth. The men of the Lord. So we hell raising right now. We set up the different camps. We're all over YouTube. They want to demonize us. Well, that's what happened back then. So he said, "Man, we got to get rid of these people, man." And by the way, he was the emperor before Nero. Nero became the emperor, and Nero really tore into Jake. And by the way, Claudius was married to Nero's mother, and Nero's mother killed this guy so she can become the ruler, but use her son. But her son Nero wound up killing her. So these people are devils. They don't give a damn about shit about you. They don't give a damn about their own family members. So anyway, let me come back over here. I want to deal with, let me see. want that. Let me see here. Bear me for a minute. Okay. Where am I? All right, I want to go to Genesis 10. Let me just spell it out. So here we go. Nimrod. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth, or the known earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter. Hunter meaning he was a conqueror of nations. So that was from the land of Cush, and he pushed up to the Euphrates before Yahweh. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad. You get the word Akkadian, which are Assyrians. And Kalna in the land of Shinar. I'm going to do something right here. See, it mentions Assur, which are the Assyrians. But he was not Assyrian. Let me go to Shinar. See, I didn't know where I was going to go with this. Let me do it this way. Shinar in the Bible. That's what I wanted. Shinar in the Bible. Okay, this is it right here. If you know anything about maps, this would be the Euphrates. You got Iraq over here. You got Babylon right around in here. Shinar. So the first ruler of the ancient Babel and Shinar was a Hamite, a Cushite, Nimrod. So the seven taught that the Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, that they were Hamites, they were Cushites. So let me give you the information on that. Bear me for a minute. Okay, here we go. So what I did was, without going into this page here, you already know. You should already know that it's talking about the Assyrians, because in Daniel chapter 7, when it speaks about matter of fact, let me go to it so I can read it. I don't botch it up. Daniel 7. Okay, the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth. It stood up and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given it. So there's one leader, which was Belshazzar at that time. So the lion with the eagle's wings represented what? The griffin. It was a lion with eagle's wings. It had the body of a lion, it had the wings of an eagle, and it had like the mouth of an eagle. So it's like an eagle combined with a lion. And if you look up the word griffin, that's what it was. It's a mythical bird which represents it can soar over and it can devour like a lion. And an eagle can see everything. Eagles are up in the air and they see something, a squirrel, they'll focus right on into that squirrel and go right at it and get it. So that's why that symbol of the lion having eagle's wings but being stood up. So the part where the lion stood up on its feet is talking about there was a guy that was prominent in that position. But the lion with eagle's wings were what? You do the research, that was definitely Assyrians. That was the Assyrian Empire. Akkadian. And I'm going to prove that. Bear with me for a minute. Right here, right? Damn. Here we go. Sorry. Babylon, right? It says, once in power, Nebuchadnezzar was presented as a typical Babylonian monarch, king, wise, pious, just, and strong. Texts such as this clay tablet extol his greatness as a man and a ruler. But this is what I wanted. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I didn't even find this one. Was Nebuchadnezzar or Nebuchadnezzar an Assyrian? Who are descendants of Nebuchadnezzar? I'm going to go to this one first. Did King Nebuchadnezzar have a son? Let me try this one. Was Nebuchadnezzar an Assyrian? Oh, now they're telling me that he's not an Assyrian? No, King Nebuchadnezzar was not an Assyrian. He was the king of Babylon, and it's best known for his conquest, building projects, hanging gardens of Babylon. The Assyrians were a different ancient Mesopotamian civilization with their own kings and rulers. Then who were they then? If Canaanites were not living in that land. I'm sorry, Cushites were not living in that land. What nationality was Nebuchadnezzar? Babylonian. Babylonian. Once in power. I read that. Okay, this is what I wanted. What language did Nebuchadnezzar speak? Answer and explanation. During Nebuchadnezzar's the second's reign, Akkadian had become the everyday language in Mesopotamia. Who dwelt in Mesopotamia? Assyrians. Not Canaan. Now they're saying that they're not actually Assyrians. but they were not Cushites. They were not Canaanites. However, because the New Babylonian Empire wanted to revive the ancient Sumerio-Akkadian, which are Assyrians, tradition, Akkadian was retained as a language of administration and culture. Well, if they were Hamites, why wouldn't they speak the Hamitic language? But they're not going to tell you his nationality. But he was damn sure not a Cushite. He did not descend from Nimrod. Let's try this one. Was Nebuchadnezzar Babylonian or Chaldean? Chaldean dynasty. What is Nebuchadnezzar II known for? Nebuchadnezzar II is known as the greatest king of the Chaldean dynasty of Babylon. He conquered Assyria and Palestine and made Babylon a splendid city. He destroyed the temple of Jerusalem and initiated the Babylonian captivity of the Jewish population, which are the kingdom of Judah. But they ain't telling me who his nationality was. But he stemmed from Mesopotamia or Ur of the Chaldees. Were Babylonians Assyrians? Let's see what it says on this one. Yes, the Assyrians and Babylonians were very much closely related, meaning that they're Assyrians. That's why I said the lion having eagle's wings, the griffin, that represents the Assyrians. Do some research. What kingdom was in power before the Babylonians? They'll tell you the Assyrians. It said that lion, the eagle's wings were plucked off, and the lion stood on its feet as a man, and a man's heart was given it. So that's the same nation of people. It says, yes, the Assyrians and Babylonians were very much closely related. The ancient Assyrians and Babylonians believed in the same gods. Why did they believe in the same gods? Because the Assyrians had a similar culture and custom and even spoke the same language. Yeah, because they're the same people. Akkadian and then Aramaic. When you read the Hebrew that we read, like with the Torahs that you have, that's Aramaic or Assyrian. Assyria and Babylonian were both created out of the ashes of the Akkadian Empire, which is Assyrian. So I don't know why this statement was made. Let me see. The question was Nebuchadnezzar an Assyrian? They say no. But down there they're saying they had the same customs, the same language, the same this, the same that. So sometimes Esau be going off. Now if they had the answer for them to say no, then tell me what nationality was he. Well, they were similar. What you mean they were similar? They were the same people. So anyway, that's what I'm going to just go into, man. This is pretty much, kind of going out the Bible, going into the history which is contained in the Bible. So if you really call yourself knowing the scriptures, you got to know about Tiberius Caesar. You got to know about Augustus Caesar. You got to know about Claudius. Caesar in Acts chapter 18. You know, when you read uh, uh, Daniel chapter 8 and it says the king of Greca, who is that talking about? Matter of fact, let me do this and then I'm going to close. I went a little long. Let me go to there's white boys beating this Jake's ass. Okay, let me go to that Daniel. I'm watching Glory 84 on Prime Video. The white boy beating this Jake's ass. He on this Jake like Jake stole something. Anyway, Daniel chapter 8. I'm sorry. The goat and the rough goat is the king of Greca. That's all I want. That's all I want. Ask a Christian about that. Ask them, do you guys deal with the Old Testament and New Testament? I said, so tell me, what does this mean? Daniel 8 and 21. They're not going to know. Let me see here. I'm sorry, let me do this. I don't need this no more. I normally go to Bible Hub. So let's see what Cambridge says. The rough goat, Daniel 8 and 5. Okay, Greaser, or as we should now say, Greece. Who was the first king of Greaser? Okay, good. They did good. The first king, i.e., Alexander the Greek. You show a Christian Daniel 8 verse 21. It says, "Who's the king of Greca?" They ain't gonna know, unless they're a scholar. So when they say, "Oh, you Hebrew Israelites, you always make shit up," I said, "Okay, let's go to Bible commentary with Christian scholars." Let me do this. Alexander's in there 9 times. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king, Alexander the Great. Jameson, Fawcett, Brown, Bible commentary, the first king, Philip, was king of Macedon, which is his father, before Alexander. First king Alexander. Alexander, Alexander, Alexander. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.